Week 9 studs and duds. Let's get it started.
Yes, sir.
Week 9 wide receiver studs. Drake London lived in the end zone this weekend. He had 3 of them things. Them things is touchdowns. 3 of them things. 9 receptions for 118 yards. Ooh, popped off. My man got you 38.8 PPR points. Let's go. Through Sunday, #1 wide receiver on the week. Let's get it. It wasn't enough to beat the New England Patriots, but he gave him a scare. They really got to work on their kicking. As a Bucs fan, I ain't mad at it. T. Higgins went off today against the Chicago Bears. 7 receptions for 121 yards and 2 of them things. This was a crazy game. Everybody ate, except for Jamar Chase. He was great on the yards front, but didn't get into the end zone. Man, respect those 6 receptions for 111 yards. Not enough to get you in this A+ range. Still very good, Mr. Chase. But T. Higgins got you 31 fantasy points this week. It's amazing what adding Joe Flacco has done to this team. But it was another close loss. That defense is terrible. Devontae Adams is living in the end zone. The last game he played, he got 3 touchdowns. This week, he got 2 touchdowns. They can't keep this man out of the end zone. I'd say he still got it. 23 fantasy points, man. Doing work. Right behind him, Puka Nacua doing work. 7 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. He did get banged up, looked like a chest injury. But man, they're a dynamic duo. They are going to be dangerous. Is this the best receiving duo in the league? They got an argument. Michael Pittman Jr. continues to dominate. 9 receptions for 115 yards. Didn't get into the end zone, but the Colts weren't really great today. So I get that. Still, 9 receptions for over 100 yards is fire. Shout out to Demario Douglas. 4 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. Welcome back to the party, DJ Moore. 4 receptions for 72 yards, but he threw a touchdown to Caleb Williams. Nice. Everybody eats, except for Roma Doomsday, but I'll get to that later. Nice to see you paying off. The Seattle Seahawks game is still on, but JSN popped off today. 8 receptions for 129 yards. This dude is incredible. He's had 6 games with more than 100 receiving yards. What? 4 games in a row. This is actually the first time he hasn't had a touchdown in a month. JSN is cooking people. And I have a special place in my heart for JSN because I traded for him before his rookie season. I gave up Chris Godwin, a 1st and a 3rd for JSN before he played a single snap. What do y'all think about that trade? Let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious because that is a lot to give up, but he is JSN now. He wasn't his rookie year, but he is here now. Love it. Also, Torrey Horton, 4 for 48 and 2 touchdowns. Great work, kid. For honorable mentions, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had a great game, 9 for 97 yards. Just missed the cutoff. He's basically an A+. Rashee Rice did work, 4 for 80. Also had a rushing touchdown. Andre Yoshivas, 5 for 66 and a touchdown. Olamide Zaccheaus, 6 for 58 and a touchdown. Alec Pierce, 15 targets was surprising. 6 for 115, nice. Also Jamar Chase, 6 for 111, very good. Moving on to duds. Wide receiver duds. Did I miss a Roma Doomsday injury this week? Because this man had 0 production. I mean 0. He went 0 for 3. I have to be missing something. This was an incredible matchup. Caleb Williams threw so many touchdowns. I hope he's okay, but if he is okay, I'm very confused. Let me know what happened down in the comments, because I clearly missed something. DK Metcalf might have won his game this week, but he might have lost you yours. 2 for 6 is wild. They had him like a vault that locked down. I mean, no production at all. I mean, everyone had more receiving yards than him. Calvin Austin, Darnell Washington, Kenneth Gainwell. Even Pat Freiermuth had 3 for 27 and a touchdown. Rough. I only include Matthew Golden in my duds list because y'all continue to roster him over 50%. He has not been relevant all year. He's had 1 good game and a couple okay games. But in the last 2 weeks, he's had less than 20 total yards. What? Are you kidding me? And now with Christian Watson back, I mean, the pie just got smaller. But unfortunately, Tucker Kraft went down with a, I believe to be very bad injury. So maybe his work goes up, but man, oh man, do I hope you have not been starting him previously, because he has crushed you for back-to-back weeks. And before then, speaking of disappointments, Keon Coleman has not had an actual good game since week 1. He has not had 50 yards since week 1. And he's had 1 touchdown. Yes, I know, week 1 was great, and I hope you sold high. 11 for 112 and a touchdown. I'm sure you thought, I have Josh Allen's new number 1. And it turns out that was fool's gold. Because my goodness, we are 9 weeks in. And in the last month, he hasn't had more than 30 yards. 30! Oh my God! I hope you're not relying on him, because yeesh, desperate times. Xavier Worthy has had a tough month. Production just really isn't there. He's been okay, but he's barely been getting over 10 fantasy points for the last month. Now, I know he was coming off of an injury, and they added back Rashee Rice, which is bound to take some work away, but 3 for 23 is rough, man. And at this point, he's pretty hard to start. He's basically a flex with upside, because he could always pop one deep, but oof, tough. Jacoby Myers, 4 for 23. Heartbreaking loss. But with Brock Bowers back, he's really going to be the star of the show. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacoby Myers got traded. Keenan Allen was disappointing, 2 for 41. There's just so many options in that offense. And Troy Franklin had a terrible matchup. He went 4 for 27, but I did like that he had 10 targets. That was great. Enough about these wide receivers. Let's move on to the running backs. Running back studs. Christian McCaffrey was unbelievable as usual. 173 yards and 2 of them things. Are you kidding me? 106 on the ground, 67 in the air, 5 receptions. Oh my gosh. Touchdown on the ground, touchdown in the air. He is the San Francisco 49ers offense. It makes me nervous every time I watch this man play because they are running him into the ground. The man had 34 opportunities. He ended up with 34 fantasy points. Crazy work. He has had 20 or more fantasy points in all but 1 game this season. He's had 30 or more twice. This dude is consistently dominating. Please stay healthy, Christian McCaffrey. We need you. I told everybody you were going to be the number 1 running back, but the injuries. But you're doing so great. Just stay healthy. Stay healthy for yourself, for the 49ers, and ipso facto us. You're crushing it, man. My goodness. If you got CMC out there, enjoy this. It's a great ride. This next guy was a bit of a surprise this year. Rico Dowdle has officially snatched that starting spot from Chuba Hubbard. 25 carries for 130 yards and 2 of them things. Them things is touchdowns. 2 of them things. And he got 2 receptions for 11 yards in the air. I mean, he is the engine of this offense. When they run it through him, they succeed. They beat the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Are you kidding me? Honestly, the biggest surprise of the day. They were 14-point underdogs, and they beat them outright on the road. Rico Dowdle, when he gets work, they do well. You gotta keep this man on the field. Chuba Hubbard, I'm sorry, bro. I know you were the heart and soul of this team before Rico got there, but my goodness, Rico Dowdle has just proverbially snatched your chain. This is crazy. They just signed Chuba Hubbard to a new deal, but they could get out of it technically in 2025. His cap hit is $7.5 million. His dead cap is $4.5 million. If Rico Dowdle keeps popping off, this might be his backfield long term. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Just like I wasn't expecting this next one. Kyle Monangai absolutely popped off this week. He had 198 total yards, 176 on the ground, and 22 in the air. Now, he didn't get in the end zone, but the man almost had 200 yards. Are you kidding me? Wow. I expected him to run all over the Bengals, but almost 200 yards? That's wild. I would say he was probably the best waiver pickup of the week. The question is, how long is DeAndre Swift going to be out for? Only time will tell. Moving on to the honorable mentions. Josh Jacobs had 100 yards and a touchdown. Ashton Genty had 89 yards and a touchdown. And Chase Brown continues his resurgence, had 112 total yards. Nice. Well, it wasn't all good for running backs. Moving on. This week's duds. Jahmyr Gibbs' performance this week was the most surprising of the running backs. He only got 9 attempts for 25 yards. That's 2.8 yards a carry. That's pretty bad. I know Minnesota's pretty good, but I think it was the game script that flipped. They were 8.5-point favorites, and before they knew it, they were down. But I would think his targets would go up a lot, and he only had 3 targets for 3 yards. That Minnesota defense was putting in work. Mazel tov. I mean, he had 28 total yards. What? Man, got you less than 6 fantasy points. Speaking of the Vikings, Jordan Mason was a sit this week going up against the Detroit Lions. Bad matchup, plus splitting work with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones did end up getting banged up in this game, so Mason could get some more work moving forward, but he was a sit this week. As was Nick Chubb. Woody Marks was disappointing as well. Kilmani Vidal also had a rough week this week. 12 carries for 30 yards. That's 2.5 yards a carry. Ugh. I knew Chuba Hubbard wasn't going to be the starter, but I didn't think he would be not involved at all in the offense. He had 5 carries, turning it into 17 yards. What? When they said Rico was going to be the lead guy, I thought, all right, maybe like 55-45 or 60-40. He had 5 carries. My God. I mean, clearly it was a good game plan because they worked. They won. Poor Chuba Hubbard. Hate to see somebody lose their job over an injury, but I think that's what's happening here. Alvin Kamara may be cooked for fantasy football purposes, and that disappoints me. 6 carries for 14 yards. Ugh. 3 targets, but he only had 1 reception for 3 yards. It's a bad offense. Tyler Shuck is not an experienced quarterback, and he's clearly not dumping it down as much as you need to for an Alvin Kamara type. Alvin Kamara's had double-digit fantasy points once in the last month, and now he gets Tyler Shuck in a bad offense, and I don't see it getting dramatically better much faster. They seem like they're not going to trade him either, because my understanding of the situation is they'd like to trade him, but he would rather retire than get traded. And to be fair, I've been in New Orleans. I wouldn't want to leave that place either. Those beignets are delicious. So is the gumbo and Bourbon Street. I wouldn't really want to leave either. Jeffrey, can you tell me the dishonorable mentions, please?
Yes, sir. Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, Tyrone Tracy Jr.
All these guys underperformed. Less than 8 fantasy points for all of them. Nobody got 70 yards. JT's first bad game. Jonathan Taylor had his worst game of the year. Went 14 for 45. 2 targets, 2 receptions for 12 yards. Ho-hum. Bad games happen to everybody. We just hadn't seen one from him yet. Don't worry, guys. He'll bounce back. Moving on to the quarterbacks. Quarterback studs. Caleb Williams was fantastic this week. 280 yards passing, 53 yards rushing, and he had a receiving touchdown. The man had 38 fantasy points and one of the most unlikely game-ending touchdowns. That was wild. Colston Loveland, that was an athletic move and run, just boosting Caleb even higher. I'll get to you in a minute. Great job, Caleb. Joe Flacco keeps proving that he is not done. This old man just threw for 470 yards. Are you kidding me? And 4 of them things. Them things is touchdowns. 4 of them things. This is wild. This man is slinging it around. Almost over 500 yards. They didn't win, but he put them in the position to win. That defense has to stop Caleb. That's on them. He threw for 470 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't want to hear nothing about it being that man's fault. Josh Allen popped off against the Chiefs. Almost 300 total yards and 3 of them things. 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Nice. Also had an 88.5% completion rate. What? This man was super accurate. Let's go. Justin Herbert threw for 250 and 2. He also ran 9 times for 57 yards and a touchdown. Let go. Geno Smith balled out in a loss. 284 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. Just couldn't convert the 2-point conversion in overtime. That was disappointing. Did work though, on my bench in Dynasty. Jackson Dart keeps getting it done with his legs, threw for less than 200 yards, but ran for over 50 and a touchdown. All in all, 3 total touchdowns. Love to see it. Matthew Stafford with another great touchdown game. 281 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. Let's go. It helps when you have one of the best receiving duos in the league in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, who is a touchdown merchant. Puka not so much, but he got in there today. Lamar Jackson popped off against the Miami Dolphins. 200 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. Nice. Honorable mentions to Michael Penix Jr. He had 3 touchdowns. All of them went to Drake London. So you could basically give this to Drake London. But he couldn't pass it to himself. This next guy just wrapped up his game, so I gotta throw him in here. Sam Darnold balled out again. 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. Lego. Seahawks team, much better than I thought they would be coming into the year. And Sam Darnold is leading the way, getting to work. Before I go to the duds, I just want to make a quick comment on one of the quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels went down with what looked like a brutal injury. It just happened, so I don't know what the actual injury was. I just know that I think it was his left arm. Did not go in a way that left arms should go. And he had it in an air cast. He was having a rough game. It was basically a blowout at that point. Jaden Daniels, I'm sure, wanted to stay in the game and fight till the end, and I respect that. Running the ball, I believe he's got his arm caught up. I feel for you, Jaden. You just got back from injury. What is up with the Washington Commanders and being injured? Their quarterbacks, I feel like, consistently get injured. Shout out RG3. I don't think it was his throwing arm. I'm hoping that he can heal up, and we'll find out news soon, but get better soon, Jaden Daniels. We're rooting for you, man. Sucks to watch you go down. All right, now we can talk about the duds. I didn't want to include him in that because he got hurt, and that's gross. I don't want to talk about that. But this I do want to talk about. Quarterback duds for week 9. Patrick Mahomes came crashing back down to earth with the normal folk. 250 yards, 0 passing touchdowns, which makes sense because Rashee Rice rushed in a touchdown. Kareem Hunt rushed in a touchdown. I don't remember where the last one came from, but it wasn't him. Got you 9.5 fantasy points. That's disappointing. He's been balling out recently, and I think he bounces back, but this was just a tough game. They were coming after him. Bosa was in the backfield getting work. I mean, I felt like every time I turned around, Bosa was in Mahomes' face. Mahomes threw a bad pick, and it was because Bosa was right up on him. Congrats to the Buffalo Bills, though. They really get it done against the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. They really do. Mahomes has a tough stretch coming up here if he wants to win the division. Because, I mean, the division's tough at this point. Jeffrey, can you bring up the standings, please?
Yes, sir.
They're currently 3rd in the standings. 5-4 solid records, but they're 2 games back. They've already lost to the Chargers. I think they're going to have to go on a bit of a run. Coming up, they got the Broncos in Denver. The Colts at home, they need that one. Cowboys on the road. Texans, that's a good defense. Chargers, they got to have that one. Titans, Broncos, Raiders. They're still fighting for the division, but it would have been nice to have this game. Jordan Love didn't just have a bad fantasy day. He also lost to the Carolina Panthers at home on his birthday. It was Jordan Love's birthday, and he lost to the Panthers in front of a bunch of his friends and family. That is unfortunate and super embarrassing. Did I mention that it was at home? Oh my gosh. No Lambeau leaps. Not for him, at least. He threw for 0 touchdowns. He did throw for 274 yards. His completion percentage was 70%. That's pretty good. But it wasn't enough to beat the Carolina Panthers. Wild. Who would have thought? Carolina Panthers, quasi-relevant in the division. Wild. And I don't really count CJ Stroud because he got hurt. I just wanted to mention him. He only threw 10 attempts, so no shade to him. That game was rough regardless with the defensive matchups, but I think he got a concussion, so rooting for you to get healthy soon, CJ. Heal up, bro. Man, Nico is just out. Now you're out? Sucks. All right, let's get to them tight ends. Tight end studs. Brock Bowers came back with a vengeance. He caught 12 of 13 passes for 127 yards and 3 of them things. Them things is touchdowns. 3 of them things. He was the sole reason this team made it into overtime. Tough catch after tough catch. One of the touchdowns he caught with one hand, falling backwards. It was incredible. So nice they had to see it twice. They didn't believe it, but he got it done. But they couldn't convert the 2-point conversion in overtime. They didn't want the tie. They wanted the dub. And it didn't work out for him. But his stat line was great. 43.3 fantasy points. Wow. Popped off. Speaking of popping off. Colston Loveland played out of his mind. 6 receptions for 118 yards. And 2 of them things, his long touchdown at the end, which a lot of his production came from that last catch. 58-yard touchdown run. It was beautiful. I mean, he should have been tackled twice and he fought through contact and then turned on the jets. He was gone. Got a feeling he's going to be a hot ad on the waiver wire. Dalton Kincaid did work. 6 receptions for 101 yards. And a touchdown. Nice. Sam Laporta, 6 for 97 yards and a touchdown. Fought through a lot of contact to get his touchdown. Pushing through to get through the line. It's a big boy. Mark Andrews somehow getting on this list with 2 receptions. Well, that'll happen when your 2 receptions are for 22 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow. It's actually kind of crazy. 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Isaiah Likely is nipping at his heels. Andrews can't keep this up. 2 touchdowns for 2 receptions. I'm happy for him, but it won't last for long. Before I get to the duds, Tucker Kraft went down with an injury. It doesn't look good. I think it might be an ACL. I'm hoping that it's not, but it didn't look good. They think it might be a torn ACL, but we don't have all the tests back yet. Oh, that's tough. He was having such a great year. Get better soon, Tucker. We're rooting for you. Ugh, so many injuries. All right, let's talk about the actual duds now. Evan Ingram had 3 targets and 0 catches. Unless I missed it, he got injured. My goodness, that Texans defense locked him down like a vault, baby, locked down. Luckily, I played him in a league. Still gonna win. Let's go. Hopefully y'all made it through too. Dishonorable mentions. Tyler Warren, 5 for 26 yards. That was disappointing for him. He's normally much better than this. But the whole Colts team struggled. George Kittle only had 4 receptions for 32 yards. That was disappointing. They got the dub, but he wasn't as involved as you would like. 6.9 points. Ugh. All right, let's do a recap. Week 9 fantasy football studs. Give me the wide receivers, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. Drake London, T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, Michael Pittman Jr.,
Demario Douglas,
DJ Moore, Jackson Smith-Njigba,
and Torrey Horton. Running back studs,
Christian McCaffrey, Rico Dowdle,
Kyle Monangai. Honorable mentions,
Josh Jacobs, Ashton Genty, Chase Brown,
quarterbacks,
Caleb Williams,
Joe Flacco,
Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Geno Smith,
Jackson Dart,
Matthew Stafford, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold,
and tight ends,
Brock Bowers, Colston Loveland, Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews.
That's a lot of guys that popped off. Now it's time to talk about the guys that disappointed. Week 9 duds. Give me the wide receivers, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. Rome Odunze, DK Metcalf, Matthew Golden, Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy, Jacoby Myers, Keenan Allen,
and Troy Franklin. And running back duds,
Jahmyr Gibbs, Jordan Mason, Nick Chubb,
Kilmani Vidal and Woody Marks.
Chuba Hubbard, Alvin Kamara,
Quarterback duds,
Patrick Mahomes, Jordan Love,
and tight end duds,
Evan Ingram, Tyler Warren, George Kittle.
So which one of these guys propelled you to a win or led you down to defeat? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and the notification bell down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. If you didn't get a dub today, hopefully you close it out tomorrow. See you soon, Bay Nation. Peace.